Yeah, I'm Dale. I'm an addict. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here tonight, like celebrating my 1 year clean time in front of my home group. Yeah, because my road to recovery, like I've been in recovery for 2 years now, and it's not been an easy road for me because I overcomplicated all my recovery. I didn't want to quit cocaine. I was a latecomer. I started doing cocaine when I was 26. I'll just bring you back a little bit. And so my childhood was really good growing up. I was well liked at school, but I hated school. I left school when I was 15. I believe I don't know if I was born with this illness. I don't know. But I believe it was caused by trauma. So growing up, me and my granddad used to be really close, and he was on his deathbed, and I was getting in trouble, but petty stuff like robbing like pizza bikes and stuff like that, little petty stuff, do you know what I mean? But you can see it was probably escalating, and he was on his deathbed, and he said to me, like, join the army and make me proud. And I said, whatever, Grandad. And unfortunately, he passed away. And so I had a look at the army. I thought, I'm going to make him proud. And it said, travel the world, play loads of sports. But it was never like that. It was never like that. I think I joined at the wrong time. So yeah, 16, 9 months, I joined the adult army, because they do like school leavers now, 16, but I was over the edge, done a test, and they said, congratulations, you could join the infantry. And I thought, brilliant, I must be brainy. But I realised all the infantry soldiers, they call them fit because they're frontline troops. But yeah, it's true. And yeah, so joined the army. I had good experiences and bad experience, and I did travel the country. I went to a lot of places. I ended up doing 2 tours of Kosovo, Northern Ireland, and what changed my life was going out to the Gulf War in 2003 with the Black Watch Regiment. I was only 4 people what got picked from my battalion to go out there, and because I was a specialised infantryman, apparently, because I could drive armoured vehicles as well as being a foot soldier. So I went out there. Scottish didn't like me very much, and I didn't really like them, but when found them quite racist, actually. But when we was out there, they looked after me, and I looked after them. Yeah, so went out on that tour, spent 8 months out there, 2 months on the border of Kuwait, waiting to have the orders to go over to the border. And when we crossed over there, I just see a lot of destruction, a lot of stuff what I didn't want to see. I was young, and I'd done my tour, come back, and I started getting really bad nightmares, and my PTSD was really, really playing up. And I said to my sergeant major, I didn't know what PTSD was, and he said to me, I said to him I was having dreams and stuff, and he said, go down to the pub and have a drink and you'll forget about it. And that was the way it was dealt with in the army. And I really wanted to get out then. Like a lot of people saying, oh, you lucky you went to war, like my regiment didn't. But I wasn't the lucky one to go over there. And I wanted to get out, but I still have the year left on my contract with the army. So 2 months later, I got sent out there again, out to Basra, and I lost a few of my good friends out there. And I come back, and I was just a different person, different human being. It just turned me into a monster, like angry. Felt like everyone owed me a favour. I just went out to war. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. I was young. People owed me a favour, and I got out and come into civilian life, and I didn't know what to do. I was 16 when I joined, and I got out, I was 24, and I didn't know what to do. I was getting told when to eat, when to drink, what to wear, and everything. So there was no help for me back then. So what I'd done, I just got a normal job, moved down to Bournemouth, well, to Hamworthy, into Paul, with my mum, and I couldn't adapt to life. I used to sit in my room drinking, TV off, lights off. She come in and she said, "You've got a problem." I said, "I ain't got a fucking problem." I was angry, do you know what I mean? I didn't feel like I felt like I was normal. So, because I didn't know anyone down here, because I didn't grow up down here, so I decided to move back down to London. And from there, I was still going through I should have got help, but I couldn't. I don't know if it was like I should have been this strong man and I didn't need any help from counselling. I went to counselling once and they said it was something to do with my childhood, and I could have thrown a chair at him. And he just wasn't listening to what I was telling him, because it wasn't an army counsellor, it was some normal like civilian, and telling me that it was me, I had the issues and stuff. So I was in a pub one day, and so I was 26 years old, and I was suffering really bad. And if you looked at me externally, I was alright, but internally I was battered. I was, a black heart, just didn't care, no care in the world. And someone offered me some cocaine, and I took that cocaine, and I loved it because it changed me as a person. I didn't have to sleep anymore, sort of thing. I didn't have to go through what I was going through because it was keeping me awake. But slowly I've become addicted to it. So instead of like taking my antidepressants for my PTSD, I'd rather just get an 8 ball of coke and take that instead. So that lasted 14 years. I went through 14 years of like this addiction. And what was I going to say? So yeah, I met a girl in London, had a boy with her, but where I had this illness, what I didn't realise I had the illness at the time. I loved cocaine more than them. I had a kid. I still couldn't get off cocaine. So, like I hear in all other shares, like London's the problem. I'll come back down to Hamworthy and Paul. 24 hours I was down in Hamworthy, and I ended up finding a drug dealer in a pub again, and my life just spiraled out of control again. So I was living with my mum and dad. I was going from job to job. Am I using, like, once I take a substance, I can't talk, I can't do anything, do you know what I mean? And my thing, I take a line and I want to get in my van and just drive around everywhere. How fucking dangerous is that, do you know what I mean? Because that feels like, that van's like my safe place. I can't see other people when I'm driving around fucking Bournemouth, going all in different directions, you know? And it got so bad, it was like I was doing drugs under my bed, do you know, like under my duvet, off a CD case, curtain twitching. I had bad psychosis over it, and then I got in trouble for fighting, lost my job, got done for 3 assault charges for fighting in the pub. I was lucky not to be sent to prison over it, but I blame my PTSD like I did all my life. I blamed my PTSD for everything. So I lost my job, done probation. I got like 300 hours community service. It's like a life sentence in hours. So luckily, because I was in the army and that, they trusted me on the desk where I'd just take people's names and tell them they were there. So I managed to get all my hours done quite quick. So my brother offered me a job being a window cleaner in the company what he was a manager in at that time, and that was all good, but I was still using cocaine. And then COVID hit, and instead of window cleaning, we started COVID fogging and stuff, and that's where I met my wife in there. And I believe, like, it's not because she's here tonight, but I believe like someone's. She's told me to say this. She's told me to say this. No, she's told me that I believe like she was sent down, like someone's on this planet to come down and save you. But I didn't get it at first, you know. Like she said to me, "Do you do drugs?" I said no. Because I don't like people who do drugs. So I said, no, I don't do drugs. And I hid it for quite a while. She used to stay at my house Fridays and Saturdays, and it sounds horrible to say, I don't even know if I've ever told her, but I couldn't wait for her to go. It was like she was getting it in the way of my using. So on a Sunday then I'd use, and then feel like shit on a Monday, and probably didn't go in and just tell her I had a headache, or I've got a migraine, or something like that. And then we moved in together, and then it come irrelevant. I was on drugs, coming in with white all over my nose, standing. We rented a caravan before we bought a house, and she come in one day, and I'm standing there with knives. Yeah. Where it got so bad, I thought someone was going to come through the door, and she said, "What would you do if someone come through that door?" I'd probably put it in them. Do you know what I mean? At the time, do you know how scary is that? And so she said, "You're an addict," because she knows someone in recovery. She's best friends with Simon Axe. He's Simon Axtell's wife, and he's been in recovery for about 5 years. And she said, "You should go to some meetings, you're an addict." I said, "How dare you call me an addict?" I said, "You got food on the table. We lived in a caravan." But like, I was justifying my using to her, do you know what I mean? So I said, "All right, I'll go to the meetings." And I only went to the meetings. This is where my recovery starts. I only come into the meetings just to get her off my back. And I come into the meeting, my first meeting, and I was feared up, a bit like I am now. And people were being so nice to me, hugging me, taking my number. But I just didn't get it. And when they started doing the serenity prayer, that finished me. I was like, oh my God, this is a cult. You know, like, that's how I felt at the time, because I had a massive ego. I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to do anything. And so I kept on what I'd done. I bought a big book, come home, stuck it straight in my drawer because I weren't interested. I thought I could rewrite this program like you hear. I thought I could do it my way. I thought, right, I'll stop using cocaine, but I'll still drink. Relapsed. Got a sponsor, didn't interact with him. Relapsed. Then got a sponsor, went through the work, and then wasn't being honest with him. I was telling him I was doing stuff, but I wasn't actually doing stuff. Relapsed. And then I relapsed again because so I was going through the program. I was on step 5 or 6 at the time, and I was doing really well, but there were certain things what I was missing. I was meditating at night and falling asleep. I wasn't sending my gratitude list. I wasn't doing my prayers. And them little things are massive things, I think, in recovery. And I was driving to work. I've just cleaned some windows. I was going somewhere else to clean some other windows, and a voice coming, like you explained with the fuck it button. A little voice come in my head and said, "Dale, you're all right now." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm all right." Then, "Why don't you just get half a gram?" And I was like, "Yeah, I probably will then." And go home, do it in the van, then go home, your wife wouldn't have a clue that you've been doing it. She would, because I fucking mumble when I'm doing it. Eat your dinner and go to bed. That sounded really good at the time, James, you know what I mean? And it didn't end up that way. I ended up doing the half gram, then going back and getting more and more, driving around Bournemouth again. Don't know where we're going. And in the end, I ended up under a tree in Poole Park, pissing down with rain as well. Abandoned my van because I thought someone was chasing me, but no one was. Just scatty under the tree, and like, do you know when someone says like, you get this message, and this message come to me as I was standing there: get yourself home. There's people that care about you. You're in recovery. Just go back home and face the consequences and come back. And that's what I did. I come back and I said, that's it this time. I'm working a proper program. I'm going to strip myself down and just go through it. So I went back round to my sponsors. We went through the steps, and it's changed me. CA has actually changed me and has saved my life, I truly believe. And since I've been going and working a proper program, life has just got amazing. I've been on holidays, but my recovery hasn't been on holiday. I've took my book with me. I listen to shares when I'm on holiday, because I've got this little bit of fear in me for another relapse. And I know they say don't have fear, but that little bit of fear keeps me going, because I do not want to end up in that place where I was before. And that brotherhood, what I lost in the army, I feel like I've got it back with CA. Do you know, I love you guys, you know, like, you're there for my dad, James, you know what I mean? Everyone is there if I need anyone, and vice versa. And recovery's changed me as a person, where I actually care for people. It's what I can do for them instead of what they can do for me these days, you know. I've turned into a caring person. I've turned into that person what I was when I was like 16, 15, I think, before the army, my addiction, my illness took control. I actually listen to my wife now as well. I listen and I care about her. Do you know, like, during my addiction, she went in for an operation, and that was my time to use. Do you know, how mad is that? She was out getting her ovary taken out, and she's just come out of an operating theatre, and I'm ringing her up saying I'm ordering Christmas presents, but really I'm gambling on my phone and sniffing gear while she's in hospital, and that's what this illness can do to you. But what recovery has given me now, it's given me many things. Do you know, like, I've got married, I've got a kid on the way, I've got a business up and running, what's doing really well. I have true friends. I've got a new addiction, golf. I've got everything I need, but the main thing recovery has given me is a clear head. I don't care about getting up in the morning. I got excited a couple of months ago because I got a debt letter, and I thought I can actually deal with it now. Instead of throwing it in the bin, I can deal with it. She was like, "What are you saying? That's $2,000. I'm like, "It's so cool. I'll pay it." Do you know what I mean? In instalments, of course. £10 a week. But you know, I'm not hiding from anything no more. Do you know what I mean? I'm working an honest program, and I'm an honest person. And I do struggle, like when Dan said about these bags and from Sainsbury's and stuff. I do struggle getting petrol and not putting a Cadbury egg in my pocket. But I do. I work on this program now, and I just want to say, like, if you're back from a relapse or you're new in this room, man, just stay around, just keep on coming back. If you relapse, just come back, because that's what I've done, and I'm here, man, 1 year clean and sober. But I know I shouldn't Am I over time?
No,
But oh, good. And what was I going to say? But I know not to take my foot off the gas, even though I'm a year clean and sober. I've been in these rooms for a couple of years. I've seen people go out the door at 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, taking their foot off the gas. So I ain't going to do that, because I never want to go back to where I was at Poole Park, sitting under that fucking tree, getting wet. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there.
Thanks.
Thank you.